Hey guys, good morning everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sai Kiran. Today we are going to discuss about AWS EventBridge. Guys, this is the last session for the CloudWatch. Tomorrow we are going to start the cloud formation templates. Guys, before jumping on to the practicals, first we'll try to understand what is the difference between event and what is the difference between schedule. Right? See, event is nothing but imagine there is something called elastic block storage. Right? My client doesn't wants to create ZP3 volume, and he only wants it to create ZP up to ZP2. As a DevOps engineer, I cannot go back and check whether if all my team is creating ZP2 or not. No one's supposed to create ZP3. Right? So in such case, what I can do is I can create an event. I can create an event from the event bridge, and I'll make sure I'm selecting the Lambda functions. I'm selecting the Lambda functions under target. So in such case, what will happen is whenever someone is trying to create ZP3, an event will be triggered. An event will be triggered to my event bridge. An event bridge will trigger an event to Lambda function. And what this Lambda function will do immediately is within 30 seconds, it will delete the entire GP3 volume. If someone is trying to create the GP3 volume, within 30 seconds it will delete the entire GP3 volume, right? This entire process is called event. Correct. Now I'm going to tell you another event. Guys, if you do have time, please do practicals on this. I'm going to show you how to overcome with this task by doing EBS volumes. For IAM, try to do it. So the second task is IAM. Whenever a DevOps admin or a DevOps engineer or a cloud admin, whenever he creates a user, whenever he creates a IAM user, immediately and permission boundary should be attached, and permission boundary should be attached to this user. Why? In some cases accidentally DevOps admins or some other they might gonna give administrator full access to the user. This is wrong, right? We are not supposed to give anyone administrator full access. We are only supposed to give the access which whatever they require. So in such case, even if they are attaching administrator full access at any point of time, whenever they create the user, immediately within 10 seconds or 5 seconds, immediately and permission boundary will be created. If you doesn't know about the permission boundary, I request you to please do watch my IAM video. There we have discussed about IAM users, inline policies, groups, user groups, and then permission boundaries also, right? This is also something which is related to the event, guys. Now let's discuss about the schedule. Guys, schedule is, there is nothing to explain in schedule. This is simply nothing but a cron job. The only thing what you have to do is today what kind of task we are going to do with the schedule is we are going to take snapshots for each and 5 minutes to my instance, or you can also take snapshots to your volumes. Anything is fine, right? So let me take you to my console. Let's go and achieve this task right now. So here is my console, guys. Let's not rush. Let's do the process step by step. First we are going to complete the task of the EBS volumes, right? So let me go to my CloudWatch first. Open CloudWatch. Also, you can directly enter Amazon EventBridge here if you wanted to. Else come to the CloudWatch. If you scroll down left side, you will be seeing something called rules. Open rules. Create a rule. I'm going to give the rule name as delete disk. Scroll down. Select rule with an event pattern and simply click on next. Select AWS events. Scroll down. This is a sample event data, guys. Do not give anything here. It's an optional. If you scroll down completely, here you will be able to find AWS services under event source. We do also have event rich partners, but for now we are going to proceed with AWS service itself only. Under AWS service, What is the service we need to select? EC2 instance. Why we are selecting EC2? Because EBS volumes are also features of EC2, right? Here you have to select the volume, EBS volume notification. Event type specification one, make sure that you're selecting create volume and modifying. If someone is creating volume or if someone is modifying my volume, then trigger and log to my event bridge. So under specification 2, leave the specification as it is, like any volume ARN, right? Or if you do have any JSON file, you can simply copy and paste it here. Nice. Simply click on next. Make sure the targets you're selecting it properly. Select AWS services and then select the target. What was the target here for today? Lambda function. Select Lambda. Scroll down. Do we have any Lambda functions? No, right? We have to create Lambda function. Let's go back here and create the Lambda function. Guys, this is how in real time you're going to do, because your manager or your scrum manager straight away they'll come to you and they'll tell you, hey, please take care that no one is creating ZP3 or no one is creating instance double XL, because those services are a bit expensive. In such case, as a DevOps engineer, you cannot go back and check with each and everyone whether they are creating the GP3 or not. So you can follow this pattern and you can make sure that no one is creating a ZP3 or double XL instance or something, right? So come to the lambda functions, select author from scratch and make sure that you're entering the name here. Again, I'm going to enter delete disk. Scroll down, select python 3.8. Everything leave as it is default, create function. It will take some time, let's wait for it. So the function has been created successfully. Now what you have to do is you have to do the necessary modifications. Remove this Python file. I do have a Python file here. Um, I'm going to put this in a repository, copy each and everything. What this Python code will do is, see, whenever an event occurs, all the event will be saved under this event. So what this Python function will do is, it will go and check in the ABS volumes whether there has been any volume has been created or not. If it is created, then it will be automatically delete the volume within 30 seconds to 1 minute. Copy it. If you still do not understand this code, do not worry, just paste it in GPT and ask it to explain line by line. Paste it here, select deploy and make sure you're testing it. I'll give this as testing 001. Simply save it. And once this part is done, guys, make sure you're changing the time frame. By default, Lambda will give you only 3 seconds. See, under configurations, general configurations, Lambda will going to give you only 3 seconds. Edit it to 60 seconds, which is 1 minute. Save it. Come back to your code again. Scroll down. Now test it. It should fail if I'm not wrong. See, it is failing. Why it is failing? You are not authorized to perform this operation, because by default Lambda do not have any access to go and check whether there has been volumes are created or not. Reason is why? Because volumes are again a feature of EC2, right? By default Lambda is not having any access. We need to attach an policy to the Lambda. Go to the permissions, open IAM, scroll down, add permissions, attach policy, make sure you're giving EC2 full access. Select it, add permissions. Okay, it's successfully added. Remove it, refresh. I'll close this tab, this is not required for now. So once you have been successfully attached the role, just test it if it is working properly or not. See, it is taking 17 seconds, but by default it is showing only 3 seconds. If you proceed with the 3 seconds, what will happen? Again it will gives you a failure, a timeout failure you will get. Still it is checking. Okay, it is succeeded now. See the status. Nice. Our lambda part is done. Now go back to your event bridge again. Make sure you're selecting the function which what you have created. Select the delete disk function. This is the one we have created, right? Simply click on next, next, scroll down and then create a rule. Awesome. We have completed the major task and we have created an event bridge. Here is our event bridge. And then we have made an authentication between our lambda function and the event bridge. Nice. Now go to your EC2 and create one volume. Go to the volumes, I'm going to create one volume and we'll see how it behaves. Create volume. You can also watch this from CloudWatch. Whenever you create a Lambda, CloudWatch logs will be triggered. I'll open CloudWatch. Meanwhile, I'll refresh here. Okay, it is still running. It will take 30 seconds to 1 minute. If you come to the CloudWatch, if you select log groups, see our log group has been created here. We just created a Lambda function with delete disk. AWS Lambda delete disk. Open it. You can watch the status from here if you want. See, the request is running. Guess it should be deleted now. Go back to your volumes, refresh. See, it has been deleted successfully, right? So this is how it works, guys. Now we are going to test, guys. End of the session, do not worry, I'm going to tell you how to do an assessment for the IAM. You are supposed to do it, guys. If you do have time, please do the practicals with the IAM. Don't just do what I have did, right? So now let's go to the EventBridge again. Now I'm going to create a schedule event, not schedule event, schedule. Event is different, schedule is different. Create a rule, and then give the name as, not backup, snapshot. I wanted to take a snapshot of my EBS volume each every 5 minutes. Copy it, paste in the description. Make sure that you're selecting schedule. Guys, once you're selecting the schedule, do not just click on continue in EventBridge scheduler. That configuration is quite different again. So just simply click on continue to create rule. If you wanted to give as in cron job minutes, hours, days, and then you can give it, no problem in it. But for now, I'm going to show you with an schedule that runs regular rate. For every 5 minutes I want, I'll select the 5 minutes here and I'm going to select minutes here, right? Simply click on next. Make sure that you're selecting the target. What was the target here? EC2, right? EC2 or volumes? EBS volumes it is. EBS create snapshot. It is asking for volume ID. What was my volume ID? If I come back, there is a volume with me, which is my portfolio volume. I'm going to copy this volume and I'm going to paste it here. So what it will do, simply for each and every 5 minutes it will take a snapshot to my volume. Scroll down, let it create a new role for the specific resource and then simply click on next, scroll down and then create role. After 5 minutes, if you go back to your snapshots and if you watch it here under snapshots, a new snapshot will be created after 5 minutes. Right, so this is what I wanted to explain you guys for today. Now I'm going to explain how to do the assessment, which what I have told you in the session. So in order to complete the session, the very first step what you have to do is first open IAM, create one policy with the IAM. I'll explain it step by step, guys, do not worry. The first step is you have to create one IAM policy. Create policy, select JSON, remove all this. I'll keep this in our GitHub repository, right? This is a permission boundary. We are going to add this to the permission boundary. I'll tell you how we can add this. So select all this and paste it here in the JSON file and simply click on next and then enter the policy name and create the policy. Leave it as it is. Right, once that part has been done, come back to your EventBridge, create a rule, give the name as whatever you want. I'll give this for testing and then select the rule with an event pattern. Now we are doing an event, not an schedule, right? What is our task? Whenever a new user has been created, even if he is having full administrator access, but we have to restrict him with the permission boundaries. And what were the permission boundaries? Here it is, S3, CloudWatch, EC2, right? So once you have created the policy, come back to your EventBridge, click on next, scroll down, do it like before we have did something, right? For EBS volume, just follow the same pattern. Select AWS services, select IAM, and then event type, select all events, click on next. AWS services, make sure that you're selecting Lambda here. Now go back to your Lambda function. We haven't created any Lambda function, right? This is for our EBS volume. Now go back to your Lambda function. Here is my Lambda. I'll create a new function for you. I'm not creating anything, but I'm just showing you. This is step 3. Step 1 is what? Creating policy. Step 2 is creating event bridge. Step 3, Lambda. Give some name. Select Python 3.8. Scroll down. Simply click on. Sorry, I have created function. Okay. We already do have one function, I think. Let it create. No problem. I'll show you how to paste the code. Create function. So once the function has been created, remove all this and simply paste the Python code I do have. See, this is the one, assessment.py. So make sure that you're changing the ARN. What was this ARN? You have created one policy, right? If you go inside that policy, you'll be seeing one ARN. Copy that ARN and paste it here. Why we are doing is, whenever a new user has been created, automatically this permission boundary will be attached to that user, right? Copy it, come back to your Lambda. Where is my Lambda function? Here it is. Paste it, and then simply click on deploy, and then test the configuration, right? Make sure that you're giving the permissions. What permissions you have to give? You are working on IAM, right? Lambda by default doesn't have any IAM permissions, so it's your responsibility to give the permissions. Under permissions, attach policies, make sure you're giving IAM full access, and then simply click on add permissions, right? Once your Lambda function has been created, go back to your event bridge and select your Lambda function here. See, this is our Lambda function. Select it, next, and then create, and then go back to your IAM, create one user. I'll open my IAM. Yeah, here, once this entire part is done, create your user, give the name, give the provider access, simply click on next. Name I forgot to give some name. Next, you can attach whatever policy you want for testing, or it's testing only, right? Attach an administrator policy, and then simply click on next. Once it has been created, if you scroll down under permission boundaries, you will be seeing these policies have been attached, right? So again, I'll repeat you the steps. The very first step, what you have to do, create one IAM policy, right? And then event bridge. This is second step. Third step, Lambda function, right? Fourth step, make sure that you're adding the Lambda function here in the event bridge. Fifth step, go back to your IAM and then create one user, give the administrator access, create user, scroll down and see whether an permission boundary has been attached or not. So DevOps admin or cloud admin or any other admin, accidentally or by mistakenly, they might be giving an administrator access to the particular users. So this is something we are doing it in a most secure way, just to avoid any security breach or something, right? Administrator access is like big red flag. You're not supposed to give administrator access to anyone. You should only give the access to the particular service which whatever they require, right? So that's all for today, guys. We'll see you in the tomorrow's session. If you do have any doubts, please put it in the comment section. I'll try to address as maximum. Also, please share it with your friends, whomsoever is willing to learn. See, we are doing a practicals on each and every service, correct? Like, we are not doing any end-to-end projects. The reason why I'm not showing end-to-end project is your skills will be limited after doing that project. And if you gain some knowledge on the individual services, tomorrow when you go to the floor, when your manager or scrum manager is giving a task, you'll be having 100 ways, you'll be creating 100 ways to complete that task. If you watch end-to-end projects, then what will happen? Your skill set will be limited, so you do not know the functionality of the service. So that is the reason why I'm explaining you each and every service individually, right? So tomorrow I'm going to discuss about there is something called step functions, and once a step function has been created, then we'll jump on to the cloud formation templates, right? We'll see you in the tomorrow session, guys. Take care everyone, have a nice day. Bye bye.